And we are streaming on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club, so if you ever miss anything, you can check that out. So we'll get started here. I think it just ticking over to 6 p.m. here. Welcome to the Elmer Session. Great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics. Very similar to a companion or a sister net that we hold on the other Wednesdays of the month here. So you don't need to be a ham radio operator to participate. It's about an hour long, and then we'll get into the meeting by John Portune. Simply Yagi design. I think the new homebrew Yagi track is the one that he's going to be presenting on here, so appreciate that. Yeah, I see we have a few people. Yeah, thanks for joining on here. Got Terry, John, myself, another John, Jeff, and Doug. So thanks for joining on here. If you are watching on YouTube, go over to our Google Meet chat to chat, w0tx.org/meet. Yeah, if anybody has anything, I can bring up some stories we were talking about here recently. In the news, there was a story of a 200-foot AM station mast stolen. Let's see where'd that article go here. Let's see.
I saw that yesterday. It was pretty amazing if they could slip in and do that.
Yes. Yeah, station WJLX in Alabama. 200-foot radio tower was stolen, local AM station. And I'm sure it was a surprise to everyone. The engineers, the managers. It's odd that the engineering team wouldn't have known that would happen. It's surprising that their listeners didn't call in. So pretty crazy, yeah. And it's a large mast. How do you do that without someone knowing that happened? Yeah, we were talking about that. What else? I think I was trying to follow up on something on that. I couldn't remember, but we're always looking for people to help with our antennas and maintenance. So if anybody has any rock climbing experience, things like that, let us know. What else did we talk about here? Yeah, I'll throw it at the group here. Anyone else so far, let me know. Otherwise, I can go back and see what we talked about this past week. Yep, so we talked about that. What else? People always bringing up new radios. We were talking about linear versus switched power supplies. What's the difference between the two, and the usage of either one? Let me see. What was the consensus on that? So I think this article here that we were reading or going from is dollar for dollar. Switching power supplies usually provide more power for less cost. They're also smaller and lighter than standard iron transformer linear power supplies. Applications where switching noise is not an issue, they're clear winners. Most switching power supplies sold for amateur radio use by reputable companies are noise-free. So let me see. Somebody put something in the chat here, I think. Let's see. Where did that go? Let me see. N0MTL checking in. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining us here. We were just getting things started here. Let me just make sure something's actually working here. Give me a second. But if anybody has anything, any projects you've been working on, anything you want to bring up, let us know. Any projects you've been working on? Okay. What else here? Talking about that. We were talking about Meshtastic. Pretty much quite a lot in the news here, and LoRa capabilities, and how it's used for, let's see, APRS in our cases. You can go to meshmap.com or .net and look at nodes. These are long-range devices that you can use for off-grid communications using the ISM band, 900 or so megahertz. So one of the Aries groups, Aries Deck, I think, is using it for APRS purposes where even radio coverage isn't normal 2 meter, 70 centimeter radio coverage for APRS isn't able to penetrate through. So long range radio APRS, two distinct technologies in the field derived from it's a wireless communication technology developed for low power, long range communications between devices, often used in applications like Internet of Things, where devices need to communicate. Unlicensed band, 433 megahertz, 868 and 915 megahertz. So yeah, a group here is starting to use that. You can buy these lower boards and other Mesh-tastic probably as a kit or things like this. So $30, and you can again communication or radio communications or basically just messaging. But it's taken off quite a bit. Let me see. Any some of the popular YouTubers, ham radio will have had something on it here recently. So off-grid network communications, somewhat for either emergency preparedness or a lot of other things. So anyone on that or anything else? Go ahead.
In 2020, I was the first.
Let's see, Swedish YouTuber, or Swiss YouTuber, Andreas Spies, you may have heard. He's put together a video here amongst many others. So pretty cool stuff here. All right. Anything else so far? It's only been 5 minutes. We have plenty of time to fill here. Go ahead.
Hey, Daron. This is Doug here. I actually got my first two Mesh-tastic devices set up in the past week, and was kind of disappointed that I didn't see anybody else. It was just my two devices. So I might be an early adopter, or maybe I don't have it configured quite right, but I was a little surprised I didn't see more out there, especially with the denvermesh.org. I'm in Congress Park, and they're supposedly have a network going over in Cap Hill. Granted, there's a big hill in the way between me and them, but I was surprised that I'm not getting any other nodes. I don't know if you've got some thoughts on that or what.
It may have been you that was asking it on the Learning Net, or what started this conversation, I think, was something to that extent. Is there much activity out here? And I don't know. I haven't played around with it too much myself. So yeah, that's interesting to hear. I haven't really messed around with it. I know there's this meshmap.net, and it shows very little activity really. And it doesn't have to be connected to the internet, but I think once they are, it reports into these. But I'm not too sure. Let me see. Micah put in the chat here, watched a video about a guy that is making a trail tracking setup for off-road groups. Oh, okay, something different. We'll talk about that here in a second. So, I don't know. denvermesh.org. So you should. I haven't read too much. I mean, you basically can just. Can you see all the mesh? Can you see the packets coming in? Can you see activity? Is that how that kind of works? Like APRS, you would kind of just hear or see it. I don't know.
Yeah. So on the when you hook up your phone or whatever device to a node, you would see the other nodes that are within range. And I'm only seeing mine at the moment. I haven't done really any range tests either on if I'm getting out. Granted, I'm inside the house with the little stock rubber ducky, so it's possible that too much attenuation in the house. But I've got some parts on order to get a repeater set up, going to try to mount it to the roof with the solar panel and see if I can't at least provide a repeater in my neighborhood for anybody else that wants to join the mesh.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to really play around with it. It's always this is the new like 90VNA Tiny SA, just a nice cheap product just to buy. So I haven't gotten into it yet, but I definitely need to. So yeah, a lot of opportunity. So you were mentioning repeaters. Is it? I thought it was a decentralized.
It is. So you set up what they call roles on the device, and client is the default role, and so it'll you'll be able to receive and send messages, and it'll forward messages. But they also have roles like routers and repeaters that are that you set up high. They're not necessarily clients, but they'll help to increase the size of the mesh and and propagate some of those message hops.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so the idea is to maybe build one that's battery powered or solar powered that you can mount up real high on your roof or in a tree or something, and extend the mesh coverage.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we'll have to keep bringing that up because I know it's quite a popular thing nowadays. So maybe we can help propagate it.
Yeah, and I've reached out to the denvermesh.org folks, and they're trying to put together their first meeting. Probably it'll be in March sometime. So I'll forward that along to the group if anybody else is interested when they decide on a date and time.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be great here. Trying to look through their website here. Very cool. I thought I saw something they were on maybe IRC or Discord or something too, but I might be just keep scrolling over it. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, what else here? Anyone else? We have plenty of time here. Another 45 minutes. Anything you want to talk about, ham radio related, or projects you're working on, or purchases you've made, or anything else? Go right ahead. Let's see. RCA, Radio Club of America, had recently put together some presentations. It's not the same RCA as in the electronics company. I forget what they actually... RCA brand. Not the same thing as RCA. Anyway, doesn't even matter. Presentations here. Some pretty cool, quite heady topics. HARP Chief Engineer, Principal Systems Engineer, the High Altitude or High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. So he gave a presentation on that. Wide-ranging conversation of some of his defense projects, experience with two pioneers in RF, learn about the Russian engineer who developed the woodpecker, and some interesting career advice. So Steve Floyd gives a pretty cool presentation here on that. I have not watched any of these yet, but really heady stuff here. What else? RCO. This is a pretty cool, interesting story of BARC, the Boulder Amateur Radio BARC Junior group. Gave a presentation. Carol Perry or Eric Permut gave a presentation on the introduction of the BARC Boulder Amateur Radio Club history and some of their and the junior aspects of it. So. Yeah, check that out. This is himself as a youth that was a part of that club. So he goes and gives that topic there. So pretty cool stuff. What else? Jerry joined here. Welcome, Jerry. What else here? Yeah, plenty of conversations, plenty of topics. Wow. Degradation over time. I'm not too much sure what this is. Engineering a college radio station. Let's see. Next generation of shared spectrum, amateur radio and acoustics. The road to LTE. What else here? Antennas and microwaves. Conversation about WWV 7 months ago, so we're dipping back here a bit. So if you haven't checked them out, they give some really great presentations. The Radio Club of America. All right. Anyone else? We have another 45 or so minutes. Let's see. We briefly talked about 200-foot mast or 200-foot antenna that went missing in Alabama. Talked about Meshtastic here a little bit, LoRa, and its usage here in our area. What else? Check out our website. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but we're going to we're moving towards a post kind of a way, or like an article based site, so that it's a lot more dynamic. So a lot of news articles on here. Recently put up our DRC repeaters, a couple of our repeaters onto Broadcastify, thanks to our VE lead, Robert Pickett, K0RIP. So you can go ahead and listen to those feeds live if you ever want to do that. Roundtable came out at the beginning of the month. You can go check that out. ARL Rocky Mountain Convention wants you, so you can go volunteer for that. And for some recently for sale and wanted items. So, what else? Anyone else? Let me know. This is an hour long about ham radio, STEM topics, and whatever else you want to talk about. All right. Denver Astronomical Society, I think, DAS, has also been they have a really good YouTube as well. So if you're into astronomy, they've been putting together some great presentations. And I think, let's see, I'm not, I'm quite into astronomy, but I have not delved too much, but some pretty cool, they have their meetings on here and different presentations. So yeah, check them out if you're interested in astronomy. What else? Anyone else so far? Let me know. We have another 45 minutes. What else here? I probably can bring up some stories. Let me see, but I'll throw it out to the group. Anything else? Let me know. What else here then? Let's see. Yeah, I guess other YouTube stuff. The Rocky Mountain Ham group, RM Ham, has put together some presentations here recently, so you can go check them out as well. They had their RM Ham University and Nerdfest, I think, some presentations on that. So pretty cool stuff on there. See, Edge of Space Sciences chasing balloons, using software versioning for hams, surface mount reflow at home, Nerdfest planning, ARL volunteer on the air planning and operations, Callmon, next generation Allmon All-Star monitor. So pretty cool stuff here if you're interested in that. All right, well, let me see. Oh, a couple of things here in the chat. Yeah, so Micah and Zero MTL mentioned, watched a video about putting a guy making a trail tracking setup for off-road groups. It probably was related to that Meshtastic thing as well. And then also, Micah says, anyone know about scanning, specifically RTL SDRs? It's been a while since I have done it, but I forget the exact. There's some pretty popular software. One of the more basic ones, or I guess one of the ones that has been around for quite a while, is SDR Sharp. It was purchased by AirSpy, but it is still free and available for download. Let's see. I'll try to. Yeah, let me see if I can download this here real quick, or I'll find some photos. There's another really big, or there was another popular one as well. But it's just it's basically you just plug it in and it gets recognized. You have to install some certain drivers, and then you can use this software to scan through here. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Oh, yeah, probably not. Pretty cool product here, free and available to use. And then you can select different bands or the exact frequency you want, or you can just put it on as there's probably just a scan function in general. So it has been a while since I have, but anyone else on SDR basics of scanning software or anything on that? Go right ahead. SDR console, that's the other one. It's a bit more beefy. It requires a little bit more resources to use on your computer, but it is, I think, free. It was free in the past, at least, but a lot more feature-rich, I think. Yeah, you could do a lot more. There's a lot more that you could do with it. So I haven't played around with it quite a while, but yeah, anyone else on SDRs? Software-defined radios, they've been around for a while, quite cheap. Buy them on Amazon, all sorts of other places, $20, $30. And I think I just need to get a switching board to switch between my active antenna, or I want to be able to use one antenna with my radio and SDR. So I think that's what I need to do to get back into that. But yeah, a lot of fun with the SDR stuff because it's pretty cool. You get a nice waterfall and a lot of signals out there. So a little scattered on that one, but yeah. Anyone else on that? Let's see. Jeff Irvin puts a link in here. Jeff Com 911. Or you want to go ahead?
It's kind of a historic thing that happened today. If you want to play that audio.
Yeah. Let me see here.
All cars stand by for a final transmission. On behalf of the countless dispatchers that have served the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office for the past 50 years, it is my honor to air this last broadcast from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office Communications Center. Through triumph, tragedy, laughter, and tears, we have had the honor of being on the other end of the radio for our deputies, officers, firefighters, and medics. We have been the voice on the phone talking to the citizens of this county. This will continue as all future transmissions will be broadcasting from JeffCom 911. As we move forward, we will honor the past and forever hold the dedication of the Clear Creek County dispatchers close. To all city, county, fire, and medic units, stay safe and always remember what Bruce said. You go, I go. End of transmission from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office, February 21st at 5:02. JeffCom, you have the radio.
All cars stand by for a welcome message to Clear Creek. To all Clear Creek County responders, we want to send our warmest welcome to JeffCom. We are pleased to assist you in serving our community, and we will always have your six.
Wow. Very neat stuff there. Yeah, that's as we've been talking about. I'm sure consolidation of these has been happening quite a lot here. So
Yeah, it's been in the process for a while, and I think it's going to be a financial windfall for Clear Creek. Save them a lot of money.
gotcha. Yeah.
They're having some downsizing due to the closing of the Henderson mine, and So a lot of changes going on up there.
Okay. Well, that's too bad, but good to hear. It's and you're with Jeff
All
Com.
cars stand by for
What
final
group are you with?
transmission.
So I'm with the 911 Authority, Jefferson County Emergency Communication Authority, and we fund JeffCom plus 2 other ECC, City and County of Broomfield and City of Westminster. So
Okay.
we're
Gotcha.
a separate 911 regional funding authority.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, glad to hear that they were able to transfer services. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear calls like that. So, are they going to be using, or all the infrastructure that Clear Creek was using will eventually just go over to JeffCom, correct? I mean, they'll still be
Yeah,
able
they
to
were
use-
they were on the state DTR system as it was, and so it's going to be a pretty seamless transition. JeffCom is in the process too of they're going to open a new facility at 440 Indiana Street, and so we're in the process of getting that all built out. Initially, these dispatchers will work at the existing center at 433 South Allison.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just gonna try to log in here.
Did I get my mic working? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
440 Allison, isn't that in the Fed Center?
440 Indiana, if I said Allison, I was
Indiana.
mistaken. It's 440 Indiana Street. The existing facility is 433 South Allison. It's where West Metro Fire's headquarters is.
Yeah, I've been in that building several times. I'm just trying to put a picture in my head where the new facility is going to be.
Yeah, it's it's south of 6th Avenue, kind of up on the east side there. And it was some kind of financial building, several tenants. It's a pretty large building that they acquired and are going to build out.
Okay, this doesn't want to work for me. Let me try this once more here. There's a little window here. There it goes. Okay. JeffCom 911. Some good social media posts on here, so it's good to see, good to hear. So, very neat.
That's the link to the new building.
Thank you. Yeah, I was completely missing what you were saying there. Let me see here. Oh, I think you put the same thing in there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
What were you saying? Something Allison Street? Or yeah, wait for the message here. Okay, well, while we're getting that there, anyone else? We had, let me see, a couple things here. Let me see. In our YouTube chat, good evening, we have Andy Cowley, 2E0 REE. And then we also had Dan Walls asking a question here about how old the calls, how will the calls get from Jeffco down 11 to the first responders in Clear Creek? I don't know if you...
Well, there's going to be, there's going to be several microwave links. That'll be the primary. Well, into the DTR, we have, our JFON fiber network that gets into the digital trunk radio system, and there'll be backup microwave links. So it'll be multiple paths, multiple diverse paths that will, provide the secret sauce or the magic.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, so hopefully, Dan, that answers that a little bit. And for those who are in YouTube, watching on YouTube, most of the chat is monitored via our Google Meet. So if you can go there, w0tx.org/meet, but I'm more than happy to be the messenger between the two here. 440 Indiana Street. So okay, gotcha. Just off 6th Avenue. Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, we have 30 minutes or so. Anyone else? Plenty of time here. And then we'll have our meeting at 7 p.m. Jerry, are you there? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, we'll be moving the meeting business to the end of the meeting just due to some time constraints. Okay, what else here? What else? Let me put that link in that chat here for you guys for the Google Meet. In the YouTube chat there. wzurtx.org/meet. Please don't hesitate to join that if you'd like. Let's see, we have 14 people here. Appreciate everyone who's been able to join here so far. I can waffle on quite a bit, but I'd love to hear if anybody has any projects they're working on, any new equipment you may have purchased, anything you'd like to talk about, let us know. Let's see, Jeff put another link in here, ccinc.com.
So there's a little more information about the state digital trunk radio system if anybody's interested.
Oh, very cool. Okay. APCO 25. That's right. Yeah. Cool. And it's now been encrypted, right? You can't tune into it anymore? Or...
Right. Law enforcement side is pretty much totally encrypted.
Okay.
Fire is still pretty much open. Locally,
Gotcha.
you can actually monitor via Pulse Point.
Oh.
You download the Pulse Point app.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Very cool. So yeah, Dan, that might help answer that. Through some different fiber links or microwave, they'll be able to get that over there. And Dan Walls joining here in the Google Meet. Thanks for joining here. If you want to put something in the chat, this is for anybody. You can type something in the chat, or if you want to speak by voice, you're more than happy to ask questions via that option. Let us know. What else?
There's the Pulse Point link if anybody wants to look at that.
Perfect. Pulsepoint.org. Thank you. Bring that up here. Yeah, I have heard of that. I've heard law enforcement agencies using it. I have just not downloaded it or used it.
It's Fire that's using it, and
Oh.
they encourage people to become CPR AED qualified. Actually, be first responders if they want to register and respond in the event of a nearby call in a building or work or wherever it may be.
Okay. What's the...
There's an iOS and an Android app.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the PIO group. Let me see, but they do a pretty good job of let me see. Oh, South Metro. PIO YouTube is pretty cool. South Metro Fire Rescue. They put together quite a lot of good videos and put a lot of information about some of their fleets and their stations and some things that they're reporting to. So please don't hesitate to check into that because they have a lot of pretty cool information on again their vehicles and their operations and do a pretty good job of show how PIOs, public information officers, and PR should work and can work. So plenty of videos on there. So check them out. Yeah. I think I've probably heard them mentioning Pulse Point as well, I'm guessing. So yeah, cool stuff there. Anyone else? Let me know. Let's see, I can put the audio on this for the set for a minute or so here.
Amount of times that this particular vehicle is going to respond in a month. So we have 287 square miles inside of our response area, and we have 30 stations, and we cover 3 different counties. That's a large area to cover, and we also help out other municipalities and special districts around us, specifically with hazmat, because this is a very specialized piece of equipment, and we have very specialized individuals that train for this. So not only are we helping our own community, but we're helping the metro area as well. And
had a working commercial structure fire on South Alton Way.
Tower 34, Engine 33, Tower 32, Medic 33, District 1, Safety 35, Channel SMF Ops 3, reported commercial structure fire, map page T29, C7332, South Alton Way.
District 1, we're getting the response filled, but just additional, the RP is confirming that the fire is spreading. Your winds are going to be calm.
Okay, copy. Tower 35.
I'd like to make access to Frederick Nest.
So thankfully at this commercial fire, the person who had smoke inhalation didn't need to be transported to the hospital. They were okay, and our fire investigators determined that the cause was accidental. That person left candles burning before they laid down to take a nap. So it's a good reminder for everybody to make sure that you never leave any kind of an open flame or appliances on before you go to bed at night, and certainly try and keep anything that can burn, like candles, at least 3 feet away from things that are combustible so that you don't have a fire. Brian?
Yeah, so just a little bit there into the ICS process that they go through, and just some of their systems and callouts.
And Doron, I posted a link there to the Adams Jeffco Hazmat Response Authority. They have some pretty good media content.
I don't see that link yet.
Oh, it's because I didn't send it. There it is.
Very cool. Excellent. Let's see here. Autonomous government entity created through intergovernmental agreement between Adams, Jefferson, and Broomfield counties hazardous materials response. So looks like they also have some PIO information or stuff on here, videos and things like that. So let me bring their channel up. Yeah, quite a lot of stuff here.
As I was in the ambulance, I kept telling them, please save me. I have 7 children and I have 23 grandchildren. I said, save me.
And if you click that affiliated agencies link, it shows you all the agencies are affiliated with the authority.
Sorry, thank you. Oh, wow. Just those few, eh? Wow. Yeah, that seems pretty nuts. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a lot of agencies and under one group there. So, it is a lot of support that's needed. I think we've talked about it quite a lot. I think I've asked you before, maybe, but in terms of paid employees of these departments, is it a lot of volunteer efforts as well, or?
We do have, a considerable number of volunteers especially in the mountain agencies.
Yeah.
Down on the flats, it's pretty much professional. West Metro, North Metro, Arvada Fire. And then you have some mixed agencies like Evergreen Fire that has a combination of both, and Elk Creek, where you have medical that are paid EMS or paramedics full time. Highland Rescue are paid. So it's an interesting combination.
Okay, gotcha.
The problem nowadays, of course, is we are all aging with the graying of America. It's hard to find volunteers that want to put in the time. It's an awful burden sometimes.
Yeah.
You just look at an agency like Foothills that handles part of I-70 up there. it's an enormous task for those volunteers.
Do they use prisoners here on volunteer services?
The Forest Service does, for fire jumpers and stuff. There's, I don't know that any come out of the state prisons, but certainly federal prisons, they do, I believe, have teams of smoke jumpers and what have you.
Yeah.
But I'm not aware. I just don't know that much about. I don't think that exists in state prisons here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think I've heard that in California. Interesting skills to be able to gain, at least, and be able to hopefully serve after their release, things like that. So.
And those that are in Florissant don't hit the street at all.
What's that?
The ones that are in Florissant don't hit the street at all in the Supermax.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. That would make sense. Very cool. Anyone else? 20 minutes or so. Been pretty quiet, but appreciate everyone in attendance here. Comments, questions, let us know. This is the Elmer Session, great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics. We can talk about whatever we want here. So I'll see if I can bring up anything else here at the moment, but please let us know.
Well, we hogged the stage with all of this fire EMS talk. Do we want to get back to ham radio? Anybody have any topics, pressing topics?
Let me see, I've gone back, checking some things here. What else? So, yeah, we have, let me see. I am trying to desperately go through and see if I can find something here. What else? Check reddit.com/r/ham radio. Looks like someone did some work on their gutters. They live in an extremely restrictive HOA that only allows satellite TV dishes to be mounted on the outside of the house. Because of this, any conventional antennas were out of the question. Thanks to the suggestion of some local hams, as well as a guide they went off of, they went ahead and purchased an LDG RT100 remote tuner, installed it with a ground rod at the bottom of their gutter spouts. It's not perfect, but gives a nice match and gets them on the air without having to leave the house. And it certainly beats no antenna, and the HOA is none the wiser. So let me see. Assuming those red lines are the gutters there. Put some line in there and ran it back in. So just only a few photos here, but let's see. We can look at that guide here. The gutter antenna HF. Let's see. A remote antenna tuner, as mentioned, the LDG. Coax. They used PL259 grounding rods, ring terminal ends, stainless steel bolts, random length counterpoise for the ground field, and ground rod clamp. Expectations. Let me see. You'll get some may have great QSOs, some may get a buzz, and some will have a unique setup. Let me see. It's a compromise antenna that will get you on the air, but not perfectly. Some people may even give some slack about it, but don't listen to them. As we mentioned, any antenna is better than no antenna, and just have some fun with it. So follow the steps here. So pretty interesting project there. So yeah, if you do live in a covenant restricted group or a HOA, that is a pretty cool setup there, it looks like. What else? Some comments on that. Try not to. Someone might complain if they find it, so that's why they try to keep it as clean as possible. Let's see another commenter in here. They ran coax to a 9-to-1 balun feeding the gutters. Ground rod and few buried counterpoise radials less than 2-to-1 SWR on all ham bands between 80 and 6 meters without a tuner. So pretty cool stuff there. let's see, the Amateur Radio Preparedness Act of 2024. I think I saw something on the ARL on that, or where was I seeing that? Let's see, a comment on the HOA someone has here. Yeah, that's, I think, what was just coming up here. So let me see that. Yeah, that was that. Amateur Radio Preparedness Act. Oh, boy. Let me see if I can find a summary of this. But I think it's probably just to let amateur radios put antennas up within covenant-restricted homes and neighborhoods. So this will probably be put up as a... yeah, so it's just introduced here. So you'll have to... it's an act just like any others. Through federal law, it'll have to go through the Senate, the House, the President, and then it'll become law. So the Act S.3690, 118th Congress for 2023-2024. So if anybody has more information on that, let me know. Let's see, to amend the Communications Act of 1934 to prohibit the application of certain private land use restrictions to amateur station antennas and for other purposes. So that is essentially the gist of it, but there's quite a lot of legal wording in here. But it's essentially, if it passes, you'll be able to put up regular antennas within a HOA neighborhood. So thank you for that. Who put that in there? Let's see. We have 15 or so minutes. Anyone else?
There's going to be some allowable restrictions, like antennas within reason. I don't know that the townhouse group that I live in is going to be required to let me put up like an 80-foot tower or anything like that townhouse. So, but I think simple wire antennas and things like that will be a little bit easier to get through.
Okay. Looks like it's saying 43 feet, not to exceed 43 feet, possible. So nothing too crazy, but maybe some covenants can restrict you even more potentially. But that'd be interesting to hear. Yeah, anyone else on that? If we've talked about this quite a bit in the past. HOA antennas, stealth antennas that can be used in HOAs. If you want to share your experience, Micah, of if you have anything set up, let us know, or anyone else.
I don't have anything set up in the townhouse. I keep all my stuff mobile or portable. That's why I like to go out and do a lot of POTO, which I haven't done a ton of lately, but
gotcha.
I just keep it all mobile. I can put in obviously something like an antenna in the attic or something like that, but I just haven't done that yet. Been thinking about doing like a fan dipole.
Okay, yeah. I think we have discussed that fan dipole in the past too. I can't remember. I think we have a presentation on it, I'm guessing, but very cool stuff. Yeah, I've spoken enough. We have another 10 minutes or so, but if anybody has anything else, let us know.
So I was looking at that bill, Daron. If you scroll down, if you want to bring it back up and scroll down to the permissible restrictions, item E kind of covers what we were discussing about things within reason.
You said 23? Or
yeah, if you just go down to, there's a section that says see permissible restrictions. See that item E down there.
Okay. Restriction that requires an amateur station antenna, ground-mounted electrical enclosure, ground-mounted control enclosure, a guy wire anchor to be visually screened if such enclosure or anchor is visible from the street faced by the dwelling or is located in any unfenced side or rear yard. Go ahead. So that would be the possible restriction. Is that if it's visible from the street faced by the dwelling or if it's located in an unfenced side or rear yard and is visible from an adjoining property. So it has to be out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, when you're in like a townhouse, HOA or something, there's going to be, you're not going to be able to go wild and put up giant log periodics and things, I don't think.
That makes sense. I guess that's, yeah. Let's see, Fred in the chat here he has a 26 gauge, 26 GA. 26 gauge, 40 meter off center fed dipole that's flying under the HOA radar. So that'd be pretty interesting. Similar to probably like it looks like a G5RV or a antenna like that potentially. So yeah, very cool. Anyone else? Let me know. Better than nothing. Yep, absolutely. Very cool stuff there. So yeah. Anyone else? Anything else? Let me know. See, we have a silent key report here. WA6FWI, Jeffrey D. Angus, reporting on his Facebook page that he passed in his sleep in January. He was a longtime participant in the Usenet groups for amateur radio and antiques radio. Former member of the amateur moderation group, Usenet group, original internet Elmer. Packet BBS operator, former AMPR.org TCP/IP address coordinator for Los Angeles, antique radio expert and proprietor of the Fox's Mercantile electronic repair shop in Lenox. Definitely a character, so unfortunate to see, but nice to at least have some reporting on it. So. All right, anyone else? What else? Oh, I was muted on that one. This is the Elmer Session. Yes, go ahead, someone.
Oh, it was my guy. I'm starting to do a little bit of a dive into that packet BBS stuff. That looks kind of interesting.
Yes, AX25 packet. We have a pretty big packet network here, so yeah, definitely get on 145050. And if you have a TNC or if your radio isn't TNC capable, you can still do. You can use like something called sound modem, I think. Combination of sound modem and some other software. You can use your regular 2-meter radio to connect up into packet stations. So yeah, pretty interesting. Have you gotten anything working yet?
Sorry, it wouldn't come off mute. No, not yet. It's just something I've been interested in is the whole BBS thing, and I'm kind of wondering if there isn't something that you can do to work with some of that kind of meshy kind of stuff with a packet system. So just idea, thought, experiment kind of stuff so far.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know we were talking about Meshtastic and APRS before. I don't know about if things like that would work with BBS systems, but yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, very cool stuff there. Packet AX25, BBS. It's you'll dial in to basically if you hadn't used a BBS back in the day, it's a very basic chat and email, and that's basically what it is. So you'll log in and you'll get options to chat or to whatever it may be. So I haven't used it too much recently, but we do have quite a large network here of packet users. So. Well, very cool stuff there. Yeah, w0tx.org/packet if you want to get more information on that. You can get yourself added to that. So, yeah. Okay, 5 or so minutes here. Appreciate everyone that's been able to attend this Elmer session here. Again, or go ahead.
Jerry, did you want to say anything before John starts right at 7 here?
Hey, Jerry, can you hear us?
Jerome, I thought you said that the business was going to be held at the end of the meeting after, because of time constraints.
Or if we want to shove it in now, we can do it right before. If it's quick enough. Either way, we can wait.
John's just got a conflict. He needs to get this over and out.
So I talked to Jerry on the phone. He's willing to do the club business at the end. So if John's got a conflict, have him go right on into the meeting.
Sounds good.
Great.
Well, w0tx.org for more information on our club. A lot of things on social media, on Discord. If you've enjoyed this, you can go and chat on there. It's basically just a chat room, and they extend this conversation throughout the week, so pretty cool stuff there. YouTube.com/Denver Radio Club. We've streamed this meeting, plus other meetings and sessions, nets in the past, so check that out. What else? We do use social media, but it's not monitored too much, but we are on Facebook and Twitter. Get a hold of us on there if you'd like. Yeah, I don't have much more else. But any other last minute things here? Anyone? Otherwise, we'll probably start the meeting here in a few minutes. All right. Well, we'll give it a few minutes just to make sure that people have time to get here at 7. But any other last minute comments, questions? Let us know. See if I can bring any last minute audio in here just to fill up the gap here. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, we can listen to a minute or so of the Hackaday podcast. And we'll finish things up here.
This is Floss Weekly, episode 8. You've been taking a look at Kalpa and some of what OpenSUSE is doing, haven't you, Dan?
Wrong podcast, but this is the Floss Weekly, free Libre open source software. So I'll play just a minute or so of that, and then we'll start the meeting here.
Yeah, I did some research today. I've been going through looking at the many, something we'll talk to Sean about, the many flavors of immutable distros they've got over there. Mm-hmm. There's quite a few. So yeah, I had a look at the stuff that Richard Brown was doing with he's now doing Aeon, I think it is. I'm going to say Aeon. OS as well, which is a kind of sister project to Kalpa, so that should be interesting. And I haven't yet really used an immutable Linux distribution. Everybody I know is into this. It's the hot thing right now, so I think it's a good time to maybe jump on board and learn more.
Yeah, I always have this thought in the back of my mind that for those of us that are programmers and really like to fiddle and go deep sometimes and fiddle with the guts of our operating system, is one of these immutable Linux distros for us. And maybe let's ask Sean about that. In fact, let's not fiddle around any longer. Let's bring him on. And Sean, first off, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So let's start with what all you're involved in. I know Kalpa Linux, but where in the solar system of Linux do you orbit?
Primarily, I'm involved just in the OpenSUSE project.
Okay.
I contribute here and there to various other things as they catch my interest. I've been poking at some things for the guys over at Universal Blue. Kind of help.
All right. Well, I randomly clicked on a very odd episode there, or you'd have to be really understanding of any of this. I don't know what that term they were using there, but OpenSUSE is a open source software links distribution. So with that, it is just about to tick over to 7 p.m. So we'll throw it over to our presenter this evening, John Portune. The meeting's yours.
Well, thank you, guys. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry for this conflict of time. This other club that I have to rush off to very quickly is new. They've never done a presentation with me before, so they assumed because they asked for a time that it was automatic, and it wasn't, so we got double booked.